Hello, this is a screencast over our first essay, our Unit 1 essay assignment. Again, starting with our syllabus, I'm scrolling down. And you have the Unit 1 essay hyperlink there. Also within our calendar, the Unit 1 essay assignment is hyperlinked there. Once you click on that, that takes you to this page here. Notice 3 and 4 pages, we're using Chicago to Arabian formatting. If you click on that, that takes you to the Purdue Online Writing Lab. If you're not familiar with Chicago style, it takes you through some of the basics. Also within your syllabus, if you scroll up, then you have an entire section on Chicago Arabian style that takes you through the overview and shows you a sample Chicago style essay. This gives you the due dates for each unit, for all the unit. The discussion board post, that is a separate screencast. So you have 2 unique posts and then 2 responses. Hopefully you'll see, or you'll be encouraged to do more than just the minimum 2 responses. I hope to see some actual conversations happening there. Your rough draft is coming up on Friday, June 8th. Remember that within your syllabus, there is a very specific rubric as far as expectations for the rough draft. As you're typing up your rough draft, make sure that you go through a set of criteria and that you're more or less on the same page where we expect you to be by the time you turn that in. Also keep in mind that there isn't a general essay checklist. If you have questions about the phrasing, expectations on that, please let me know. 2 annotated bibliographies. The directions for your annotated bibliography are also within your syllabus. So it tells you the 4 steps. Basically, we're going to find a source using maybe library academic research databases. Remember, non-credible sources will not count for credit. If you need further help with that, there is a quick short list of non-credible sites, general information. In a nutshell, what it ultimately comes down to is anything that is conspiracy theory, pseudoscience, or extreme on any side of the political spectrum, extreme far right, extreme far left, that is unacceptable for academic writing. So once you've found your source, create a citation using the formatting style required of the essay. In this case, we're going to be using Chicago style. Then write a 1-paragraph summary of your source, cite paraphrases, direct quotes, use links in part 2 to help you review this process. And then the last thing that you'll do is write a 1-paragraph response. In this case, you might agree with it, disagree with it, analyze something that you found interesting about it, explain how you found or how the article is helping you shape the development of your essay. Again, our criteria for this section of this project for your annotated bibliography is we're looking at credibility, substantial, sophisticated source. That would be something that has a works cited page, for example. Newspapers and magazines are technically credible, but they're not sophisticated. So that would be C-level research right there. Analysis, concise summary, insightful analysis, and then your formatting is proper there. So let's see. So you have 2 annotated bibliographies due Tuesday the 12th. I'll have your rough draft back to you very soon. If they come in on Friday, I should be able to get them back to you by Monday or Tuesday, and then your final draft is going to be due that Friday. It gives you a brief idea of our writing purpose. Our writing assignment is that we're looking at an idea that you've developed through your own selection of readings. This is just recommended readings within these sections. Hopefully within this, you'll find something that says, hey, this really gets me thinking, this really gets me going. Your goal here is that you're going to apply and synthesize something you've read with some current policy or current issues. So your guidelines, establish your credibility by setting it within the context of other essays. Nothing happens in a vacuum, so show that this is part of an ongoing discussion. Establish that. If you go back to your syllabus, for example, and if you look at notes, when we talk about establishing the context, really good resource. Here is this sample strong funnel introduction. So this shows you, for example, setting up an introduction or setting up context, and then eventually building toward a very specific focused thesis. When you set up quotes, make sure to frame the quotes with introduction before and analysis afterward. Create concise and effective summaries of relevant portions of text from other writers. Feel free to disagree as long as you can explain why. Likewise, agreement is fine, but you have to add something to the discussion. You can also agree with the writer, but still show either flaws or unexplored ideas. Use other text structures, for example, narrative text structure, compare, contrast, cause and effect, definition, or process. Also, you can always use outside research or thesis standards. Should take a stand. This must be an argumentative essay. Justifies discussion. In other words, why is this important? Why is this relevant? Is this a hot topic at the moment? Should be focused on a very specific idea. Answer so what, and then makes an argument that reasonable people could dispute. So the classic example of that, saying racism is bad. Reasonable people aren't going to say it isn't. So that's not going to be a strong argumentative thesis. You need to come up with something more basic than that. Again, there's additional information on how to put together your annotated bibliographies. Use the sources. You must use a minimum of 3 sources within your essay. At least one of them must come from the textbook. 2 of them must be sources that you use for your annotated bibliography. If you use more than 3 sources, that's fine, and you do not need to use any additional annotated bibliographies. Be careful not to use too many sources. This is only a 3 to 4 page essay, so 10 pages, suddenly your voice is lost in the background. 10 sources would be far too many for this. For a 3 to 4 page essay, I'd say 3 to 5 tops would work out. Going back to our syllabus, going to the calendar, the final draft grading rubric, ultimately what we're looking at, this is consistent not just for this essay, but then for all essays throughout the semester. How you use your sources in research or argumentation. Again, this is an argumentative essay. Your analysis of the textbook, and then also 2 sources that you found from research. Synthesis just basically means how well you've integrated these concepts with your own ideas. Your ideas should be leading the essay from start to finish. Remember, your research is there to support your ideas, not act as a substitution for it. Forms and conventions, that's basically our editing, and then topic and development. It should be an original topic, or at least a fresh spin on an ongoing discussion. Take some risk in the development of the topic. Ways to not do so well on any of the essays this semester. Inconsistent research, inappropriate research, non-credible research, that would be awful. If it's informative rather than argumentative, if it does not take a position, if it doesn't mention objections, if it ignores glaring counter-arguments, for example. If it lacks any sort of complexity or depth to it. Analysis. Make sure that when you quote something, you are immediately analyzing it and showing its relevance to the essay. Again, make sure not to just mention the text, but explain the relevance. As far as forms and conventions, it's disorganized, inconsistent, excessive grammatical errors, and then on topic and development, plays it safe with a very simple, very obvious topic, does not take any risks, does not establish the discussion within a specific context. This is going to be consistent throughout the entire semester for all 3 essays. Let me know if you have any questions.